Hello and welcome to NFT Decree. I'm Barry and today we're doing a deck tech on the root keyword ability. So this is a deck in part that we're very much inspired by Eclipse, one of the Team Mythic members. And it revolves around locking down your opponent's board once you get to a certain point so they can no longer play any cards, or at least not attack you. So the deck really centers around the Treant. So if you've never seen a Treant, let's show you one of those. On the deploy effect is that it roots all enemies. That's the other side of the board. So they won't be able to attack next turn. So root prevents you from attacking for a turn. Then we are going to abuse that with a couple of other cards. Granny's going to let us pick up a card, a friendly card, put it back in hand, so we can replay the Treants, but more likely we're going to replay the Wolf, because the Wolf on trigger, you can choose a creature for it to... so the Wolf on deploy can trigger another creature's deploy, and obviously the Treant deploy is the one that we're going for. Now ordinarily that would be a random target, so you would choose the card you want to trigger and then the target would be random, but it's always the opponent's side of the board, because there's no real choice here. Roots all enemies, so there's no ambiguity there. There's no nothing that's going to potentially hit your side of the board, unlike say a Spectre. So attack creature multiple times, that could attack your creature multiple times, including the Wolf that you just played. So that is the main part of the deck. So we need 3 Treants, we need 3 Grannies, and we need 3 Wolves. Now everything else is fairly normal, shall we say, in the deck. We're playing it out of Ancestral Guard. Now you can play this out of Resolute Rangers. Now if you play it out of Resolute Rangers, you can put in Bartenders, and Bartenders may generate a drink to hand that does the same thing as Granny for free, right? So you can get even more Treant triggers off. But I'm not particularly willing to give up all the tools and tricks that Ancestral Guard have in order to do that. So the cheap draw from Bless, because obviously it's very important that you get the cards that you need when you need them. The board control from Fire Spirit and Van Meter Monster. But apart from that, there's nothing particularly... A lot of it's neutral, right? So you can... If you want more consistency for being able to trigger the Treant, you could play it out of Resolute Rangers. You would lose the Fire Spirit, you would lose the Van Meter Monsters, you would lose the Blesses, but the Blesses immediately, directly replaceable with the Offering. And in terms of board control out of the Rangers, that's just done there. If I was to go into the Rangers, then you might want to, so Bartender, put a random beverage into your hand. You're going to put in Axe Guns, most likely, and your 1 cannon that you can get, and possibly if you're you don't need the board wipes, right, because you're going to lock their board down, so something like Barricades and Easy Riders, just to keep yourself alive a few more turns, is the order of the game. But with this, if it gets to a stage where the Treant can't keep the board locked down, you do have the board resets, because they've probably got quite a big board at this point. You can still run Sinful Shepherds out of... you can run everything else in here out of other decks, right? So Liquidators, so you've got your opening moves, your Owl Bears, and your Liquidators. You've got Hui Shivo. That's mostly in there thematically. It's another bit of lock, but it also helps if they get an Owl Bear down first, you can lock it down for a turn, so it can't attack you, and you're just trying to buy time long enough to get up to your Treants. Now you might struggle once they're locked down to finish them off, particularly if they start picking off some of your smaller creatures. So I've put in a couple of bits and pieces to help protect that. One's your Navajo Witch. So your Witch gives another creature Guardian, so that can keep and keep your Treant alive, or perhaps keep your Wolf alive, depending on what turn it is. I've got Widow, which is a more expensive mute, but does a decent amount of damage, because what you struggle with is your Treant only does 4 damage. If you're only doing 4 damage a turn, then it takes a long time to kill your enemy. But Puck Wudgies are draw you a card, which is great, and they do a decent amount of damage. And same with the Shepherd, if you need to just lock that board or reset the board, particularly on a turn where your Treant's going to run out of steam, then you can do that. So let's just see if we can get a game. Don't know if anybody's playing at the moment. We are out of Play the Pros hours, and it is a Friday night, so maybe not a lot of people playing, but we shall see. Oh, here we go, straight in. Don't even need to hit them up on Discord. So, this is fine. I mean, we don't need this particularly early, but giving it up is somewhat problematic. If I get rid of this, like, these are both pieces I want, but I don't want them till turn 9, right? So what if we bin both of them? I'll keep the Bless as a backup to draw into them again, because of course we do have more, but Owlbear, a much better early play. So even if he gets an Owlbear down before us, then we've still got the chance to kind of catch up there. So I could, in fact I will, Liquidator, because that just slows down, if he is on Owlbears, his ability to play them. Now, there's not a huge amount of counter plays out of Cowboys for this. You just have to put down a body and kill it. I mean, that's not the body you want to be putting down, though, but that's okay. So then we'll play you. So the other thing about this deck, of course, is because it runs the core the other decks run, particularly with Owlbears, it doesn't need to even get to turn 9 in order to win. So this is fine. I'll swing over. I should probably... I'm going to take this out just because... I mean, I could ignore it, but I'm going to take it out because he's probably got some items. So now we're back into the Treant, but we're still, you know, many turns away from being able to play it. And if he can't do something about this Owlbear, we're not going to even make it to turn 9, right? So that's okay, but I am going to have to hit it. Letting that stay was too dangerous. I know he can't play that many items, but he could certainly play enough items to make it problematic for me. This is fine, he's staying alive. I'll get a draw off this. And swing in. So now, assuming he's got some items, he might start getting them down. But typically they're not going to boost his health much, so it's not going to help him. At best, he'll be able to take out one of these, probably. I mean, playing that was a thing, I suppose, but again, I can just take out both of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will go back to 9. And then I've got to start playing some more stuff. Spicy. I mean, just mute that though, right? So we mute you. You do 3. I guess I'm just trying to kill the board. I'm just going to ignore him, because we could just win next turn if he doesn't do something about it. And there's quite a limited amount of things that you can do. That is one thing, certainly. Even if I brainwash that, it's going to spawn the 2 things. The 2 barrels. Because last word will trigger when it leaves the board. So now I have to think. I mean, I could just no, I don't want to transform it. Whatever way I do it, you die, right? And I could do 4, spawn 2 barrels. Yeah, fine. I mean, assuming this was a different game. Swing, swing. and then there'll be no way he can come back. So let's say he had a board presence and he was controlling my board. Next turn was Treant, but then I've got nothing to re-trigger it on. Oh no, I just picked up Granny, but Granny's not enough, right? At 10, so you need 13 to go from Granny and Treant. But let's just finish this. And let's see if we can get a game that goes a little longer. Because obviously this game, just does normal deck stuff in the early part of the game. But if it gets to the late game, it can really turn the screws on your opponent. You'll always feel pretty much in command, except against rush decks. Boilers, okay. So Boiler's a very good player. We will bin. I'm just going to bin you, I think. He's playing Cowboy, so let's see how that works for him. So again, this is a dead card for 9 turns, so just not something you want to see in your opening hand. So I've got nothing. Still got nothing. Let's see what he does. I will Papa Bless. Okay, still not seeing anything great. So I do need to do something about you, and that something will be, if I root you, I can always Fanatic you later, so I'm going to do that just so I've got a body down, and I'm not getting hit. Because if he's playing Cultists, and I need to be able to monitor his board, or take control of his board better. I mean, muting me doesn't do anything, so that's fine. So now I can Owlbear for 1, and then we will mute you, and I guess I don't need to kill you, but I will, because there's no point in just letting Cultists survive, because they just buff and buff and buff, right? Again, muting that does nothing. Okay. I think I just Puckwudgie that, and do I hit him? You know what? I am going to hit him, because, like I say, if you let Cultists survive, they just get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I expected that to come as well. Pas problem. I think I'll get another Puckwudgie, I suppose. Now, she's not a Cultist, right? So I don't really need to worry about her too much. There are some buffs that will increase her, but at the moment I can start making them worry about the defense as well. But I'm also not worried about any of this. He's got a couple of frenzy items still. Combat Cultist, but he's played 2 Fanatics, I think. So this is going to just tick and tick, which is fine. Yeah, I just need this turn. So if I mute you, and then, I mean, if he wants to hit me, he can hit me, I suppose. What I really want him to do is just try and get over. So all these still are alive. So when my Treant goes down, then it's lock, right? Because Cowboys, Resolute Rangers don't have anything that's going to take out a Treant in a single go. So that's okay. I'm happy with that. He might think about trading into a Puckwudgie. No, that's fine. That's fine as well. And that it should be game over for him. So this is the only card I'm scared of, right? Sinful Shepherd. But because I've got 2 Treants, I should be okay. So we lock down their side of the board. And now we can start getting over with the Puckwudgies. So they've got really good attack. So it's going to be, it's only going to be 2 more turns. So this is fine as well. Because he's going to fill up his board, which means I no longer have to be scared of Sinful Shepherd because he can't play it. Lock down his board. Oh, I'll have to hit something. Excuse me. Well, I'll hit you. Ooh, though that's dangerous because then he can Banshee me. But it doesn't really matter because I've got another Treant in hand, right? So I don't need to play any of this. If he Banshees me, if he Sinful Shepherds, not a problem. I'll just put down another Treant and can still trigger it 1, 2, 3 times. So he has no way of winning here. So he does have that. In fact, if he can't kill these, then he's dead anyway, right? So I don't even need the Treant. But I'll do it anyway, just to show that I had it. Yeah, he knew it was over. The Dream. So that's a pretty good example of what the deck can do. You know, even if we were behind there, even if he had been managed to keep on top of the creatures we were playing, if he decided to trade the Owl Bears for the Puckwudgies or anything along those lines, we would have had 3, 4, 5 turns of him not being able to answer anything. So Ritual Master is actually quite a bad card to play against a lock deck. There he is, popping up on Discord. GG Boiler, GG. Just doing a bit. Let's see if we can get one more game that goes to maybe like turn 13, 14, so you can see a little bit more about how it operates. If not, the previous Play the Pros video, the last 2 games against Sarthik were like super good examples of what this deck can do. So Sarthik very often beats the pros in the Play the Pros sessions, and the lock deck just, you know, I prevented him from doing anything for 7, 8 turns in a game. And obviously won, right? If you can stop people if you can stop people doing anything for 5, 6, 7, 8 turns, then you're obviously going to win. So none of these are cards that are worth keeping. So even though you need the Treant, you don't need it for many, many turns. And there's 3 in here. So by the time turn 9 comes, you're going to have seen a decent proportion of your deck. I drew another one anyway, right? So it's always worth putting back. So I've got nothing to play. Boiler says hi to my one viewer. So if that one viewer is you, let him know that you like his game, you know, you like his style. So what are we playing out with Crusaders? I mean, it could be a default Crusader deck. You know, this doesn't inspire me. That might be up against something spicy. Could you be playing some sort of ghosts? I doubt it. I mean, you wouldn't have this anyway. Mothman with no natives. Okay, well, I don't really know what's going on here. I'll tell you what is happening though. I'm not getting any cards that's worth playing. So let's see if we can make a comeback. I mean, it's 5 more turns, and that would be, even if he puts nothing else down, that'd be more than halfway to killing me. Right, so this guy, I mean, if he's just looking for the damage, if he thinks he can go faster than me, might make sense, but I do feel like he's not thinking about his cards so much. So now we get an Owlbear. Now, the problem with playing Owlbear here is it's probably just going to die, but I'm quite happy to trade 3 of his cards for one of mine. All I need to do is keep surviving until we get to this stage, because once we're here, we've got another 1, 2, 3. So, yep, gets a Cursed Whip, so that gives him a couple of O-balls as well. But that's okay. I just need to survive a few more turns, right? And I can definitely get a few more interesting things down. So there's no point brainwashing anybody. I'm going to play another decent... Oh, if I can get you down, which I can. So suddenly we've got a much more threatening board. And this board's going to kind of just keep us in it for the 3 turns that we need to lock him down. Because he's going to try his best to take care of these. Banshee. If it was Banshee, that's a very good play. Oh no, he's got that. Okay, fine. So this isn't going to trigger for him. It might look like it should trigger. You know, when you kill a creature, put a random cultist to your hand. If you die, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't work. And I don't even know if it works if you don't die. So he's probably wondering what happened there, because the cards don't quite work the way they say they should. But that's okay, because he spent a couple of turns hitting hitting in there. Now against these guys, I'm not super scared. So what I'm going to do is this. Now I know he's running items, so I will. I mean, it hardly seems worth it, right? But I know he's running items. Nah, I'm going to ignore him. I'll just put a little bit of early pressure. So this is sort of mid-game pressure now. So once we get to turn 8, I mean, next turn, if he goes wide, I can clear the board, and then we can Treant down. So this, ooh. Now the only problem with this card is, right, it's got such a weak health. Like, you need something, you need an item on it just to be able to survive that attack. So I can't hit him. I could just burn the board. In fact, I could just burn the board with this, right? And then that should be game. Because we're getting 1, 2, 3 turns of Treants. So the way to play that is Treant, then Wolf, then Granny to return Wolf and play Wolf. Okay, fine. I mean, I could wait a turn. I could just brainwash this and start hitting him. Which is... I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's only getting one thing down a turn. Well, right, there's probably multiple ways I can win this. I don't think I'm in any danger of losing. So I'll just show you how the Treant works, I guess. So that's the lockdown. If you had different creatures, then they wouldn't be able to hit back this turn. But let's just say, like, he'd managed to control my board otherwise, and he'd built up a board. Can I win from the point of playing this? And the answer should be yes. So there is the chart. So this is fine. So I will again lock down the board. Swing that over. Yeah, because I can. And then next turn's his last turn, so he can't really get back at me. Board is too big. So I don't even need Granny because I can win next turn. There's nothing he can do about a board of this size. He would have to get... If he got 2 buffaloes down, I couldn't kill him. Well, that's spicy. If he can re-trigger that... So this plus Silver Bullet plus Wolf is enough to clear the board. But we're just not quite there, right? So Silver Bullet gives him Fatal Strike. And then when he does damage, he just... ruins everything. So then we get into another Treant, which is great. But let's just say, look here, if we played this, picked up the Wolf, we replayed the Wolf to lock the board again, and then let's say we need another 2 turns to do it, which obviously we don't, then that would be fine. Now, if this was... If it was going to go 2 or 3 more turns, I might have to do something about that card, the Fire Demon on his side of the board. But you do have things like that's when you play the Navajo Witch to give the Guardian so you can swing in. Same with if they've put a Liquidator on their side of the board. Obviously it's got Fortify, so you have to hit that, and with Lethal Strike, but you can instead you can avoid taking the damage, which then Lethal Strike doesn't trigger, to kill that and still continue the chain. So let's see if we can get one more game that goes fairly long. But I think you see roughly how it plays. So we just lose the Treant here. We'll keep the Wolf because sometimes you don't draw into the repeats. You know, you only need 1 Treant, but you do need multiple of these. So this does nothing. What if I just didn't play a card till turn 9? No, I would. I would lose, right? But interesting to know if we can come back from it. So there we play the Liquidator. Not sure he's on Evil Bears. So burn that away, which is a good move, but I've got nothing to play now. So that's fine. It's going to be a couple of turns before I can play anything, so as much as I was joking about not playing anything till turn 9, definitely not got anything till turn 6, so he's going to get a couple of free swings in. And obviously I now need to find a Treant, right? I don't have any blesses to draw faster. Puck Wedgies helps with the draw, right? Helps to smooth things out. And particularly once you've got the Treant down, you know, turn 9. Turn 10, you'll be able to play a Puck Wedgie if you need to draw into a wolf or a granny. I don't have anything. I mean, I could play you, but it's a semi-waste. I'll just get you down next turn. You're threatening enough. A 5/6 body is pretty decent for 6, and the draw is just a bonus. Now, obviously, Puck Wedgies can draw Puck Wedgies and get the 2 cost less, and Navajo Witch also would trigger from that, or receive the benefit of that. So we've got the cards that we need to win now. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 turns of route. All we need to do is get to turn 6. Turn 6, turn 9. We are on turn 6. And then we should be able to lock down the board and just keep going over. Now, spells could be a problem, right? So +1 spell damage. I don't know what he put it on. I don't like that it doesn't... oh, no, it does. It shows you on there. So he's got 2 double spells. So actually, both of these are things that I kind of need to take out. And if he's given me the choice, I'll take out this, since this does the most damage. But actually, what if... yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to burn the board and just get bashed there. Now, he's not got a massive hand to make a huge comeback here. I mean, it's always risky putting down your support cards against AG, because AG do have access to those board wipes. So I don't have much. I'm going to play this again, and I might as well get Liquidator down, force him into dealing with it. And then next turn, we mostly win. Now, AG with their spell deck can do a lot of things. So 1, Simple Shepherd, that's a problem. 2, their direct damage, particularly if they've got damage boosts, like 1 Van Meter monster with a +1 damage into Treant finishes it off. And we do only have 1 to play, so he's getting that down ahead of a spell. If he incinerates this... so it's worth noting that Old Chief is still subject to the limitations of can't attack on the turn it played. Fine, so now we drop the Treant. So he's locked down, and we just start doing some damage. Next is Wolf. Now he does have board wipe, so if Wolf goes down first, what I might do is Wolf and Granny on the same turn, because I need Wolf back to hand. Well, he's got Piazza, and 2 mana. So 2 mana is not a huge amount. You can get 1 Lightning Strike off. You can get 1... you can get 2 thingies. Well, that's fine. So this still needs to be hit, right? So we lock it down, but that's fine. I Granny to get the Wolf back first, because I can't risk it dying. I have to take you out, because you'll get too much damage off otherwise. And... that's fine. So I'll do the same again next time. Wolf into Granny, put it back in hand, keep it safe. With only having 1 Wolf, that's probably the best bet. Plus Granny's still there to do some damage. So he's done the Tornado. So, I mean, Granny can't quite pick this up. So this could die next turn. So I need to think about... what, oh no, I've got another Treant. So here we lock you down again. We Granny into you, and we swing over. I mean, I could mute this. I think he's got another board wipe, which is something I need to be aware of, but I'll get this down next time. Yeah, so you can see it's actually going to take us a few turns to kill this. Now, the fact Piazza's gone is good for us, because there's only 1 Piazza in the deck, and he won't be able to do the infinite combo if he had the infinite combo deck. I probably should have killed this by now, right? He's got a ton of draw off it. I've really let him get away with it. So if I'd play you to root you all again, I will in fact just mute you, because that's super annoying. And because you've got Frenzy, you can attack straight away. Oh no, I should have muted first. You have to mute first before the root. That's a critical distinction, because when you mute something, you also remove root. And I messed that up. I should have muted and then played that. But it's not the worst. It's not the biggest body in the world, right? So even if he takes out this, it just means it slowed us down a couple of turns. Oh no, but if he sevens this and then swings in. Yeah, so there you go. I've just shown you what not to do. Right, that's a very important part of this video, showing you how not to play it, because you're an idiot. Yeah? I say you're an idiot. I'm an idiot. I am going to... I guess since there's only one, I'll take you. And that's fine. So now I've got a bunch of reactive plays. I need to get back. I need to get a Treant back. I mean, if he's only got one thing, I'll root that next time and swing over. But I played that whole thing quite poorly. I should have muted the Nayaflusa very early on to stop him getting as much draw as he did. And I should have definitely played it the right way. So he was on the infinite combo deck. But he can't do it anymore, right? So I'm not super worried about the amount of damage that the folk monster can put through. So what I'll do here is I will root you. I'll just take you out, I think. I will swing over. And there's nothing else I really want to do. I mean, they all die to a tornado, but c'est la vie. Or not even a tornado, but, you know, Van Meter monster, which I believe he's got. So I could have, if there was something super important there, I could have played the Navajo Witch to keep it alive. He's obviously getting spell after spell after spell. Have I seen any owl bears yet? I maybe saw an owl bear fairly early on. I'm just going to burn his side of the board. There's nothing worth playing there for me. Now, the weakness of the one-turn kill deck is that you sacrifice quite a lot to put the one-turn kill in. So he probably doesn't have as many good spells as he might. So there we go, got one of these. And it's not really worth guarding in it while he's got a creature down. So I'll just let him. I'll just let him kill himself on the owl bear. And he could hit me in Banshee. That's fine. Like, he's just running lower and lower on cards. So if he does 4 there, he can spend another 2. Yeah, that's fine. Because that's just chewing through your hand. And I will... Yeah, I mean, that's a good card to keep. I mean, they're all good card to keep. I think I just stop him getting more spells, right? So I just need to see a Treant again. He's gone through 2 of them. One entirely my own mistake. There is one more still in here, but a 1 in 18 is not a good odds. What the devil? I mean, that would have been good early on. So here we can finally Treant, and we'll go back to our original plan just to protect this a little further. And then we'll Wolf, and then we'll Granny into Wolf. And yeah, so that's fine. But I'm not worried about how big this gets. So, bless first. Certainly got... Ah, here we go. It's all over the dream. So now we bless, we Wolf, we Granny, and we attack. No real need to risk anything else here. It's going to take us 2 turns if he can't clear the board. And he has played, I want to say 2 tornadoes. I mean, that's fine. Now he's forcing me into hitting it. But that's okay-ish. Because I can... Well, I'll tell you, here's what I do. Because it's only going to take us 2 turns anyway. We will Van Meter monster you, and we will make sure that other one's locked down. Fun police. And then, you know, we don't even need this last wolf. There's nothing he can have that's going to stop us killing him, I don't think. Nah, there's not a card. And then next turn we can just swing over for the win. But, I mean, again, another decent example of how it works. Even if you stuff it up the way I did, you can always claw it back, right? It's got enough tricks in there from the AG deck, the Ancestral Guard deck anyway. So he plays that. Kills Granny, but no good. And I will bear him, and that is game. So that's that. Hopefully you might get some, you learned a few things from that, and you might get some legs out of the deck if you want to try it yourself. Don't forget, if you want to play the game, you never played the game before, sign up using the link below. You get a free pack of cards. A lot of developments happening in the game, so things should change quite significantly soon. Indeed, if you go download it and it doesn't look like it does at the moment, then that's fine. You should have a proper 3D version and everything very soon. And there'll be different elements of gameplays with lands coming and everything else. So yeah, sign up below. But until next time, this is NFT Decree signing off.